even when teachers would tell me, oh, you're not good enough to, go to college and then go to university, I used that kind of as motivation then to prove them wrong and end up in the fire service, like as a firefighter, which, coming from our background isn't something that most of us did.
What's your story? How has it shaped the person you are today and brought you to where you are in your life? Our identity refers to our view of ourselves.
When I joined the fire service, there wasn't many people that looked like me. There wasn't many black boys in the fire service when I joined, so it was a culture shock for me. So I'd never even left Birmingham until I was about 16, 17.
Welcome to Barbershop Stories, a series of conversations about the lives of black men as they make their mark in the world, challenge the age-old narratives that society has placed on them, and pave the way for the astute and accomplished young black men and boys who follow. Come join the conversation.
So what's going on, brothers? Good to see everybody in the room. Just wanna get started on this discussion about identity. Just gonna introduce myself. My name is Peter. I'm one half of the Twins Same Fitness. Been doing this for over 10 years now. Currently, personal trainers. We do a lot of group activity, one-to-one sessions online, and group training as well. So yeah, that sums me up. Peter, Same Fitness.
Only right, I go next. Second born twin. My name is Philip Sawyers. See, other half of Same Fitness. Also a PT, personal trainer, and fitness instructor. And what we do, we deliver. Had our brand Same Fitness for over about probably 6 years now as a registered company and business. And then what we do is deliver a lot of fitness and classes and training for a lot of variety of people. Like, a lot of media coverage in the Birmingham Mail, things like that. So far, so good, man. Loving the journey so far.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, I'm Marvin. I've been a firefighter now for 14, nearly 15 years. Again, happy to be part of this project. Many ups and downs, lived in Birmingham all of my life, and just happy to help out the community in any way I can.
Yeah, my name is Alex, and I'm really happy to be here. I'm a barber, so I'm just in progress of like becoming a personal trainer as well. I had a very tough life from Africa, and my life has never been easy. I'm just trying to make things better for myself and for the world. Yeah.
Okay. So Alex,
what was you coming from Africa? What was life? In fact, how long have you been in England for?
So I've been in England for about, let's say, 6.5 years now.
Six and a half.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, cut you up. Sorry.
Yeah. So I came here with family, but sometimes you know how it goes. Life, you got to face some problems with family. So I really have been with myself, doing everything on my own, and had some few people support. But yeah, life just carry on. I'm just trying my best to make things better. But things have been better, but not better than how it used to be before.
I get it. That's good. That's a good thing. So I would say to you, how have you found the transition from Motherland to coming over here? How is it in terms of finding your identity and shaping who you are to become who you are today? Like, what was the process for you?
What would you say was just to follow add on to that? What would you say was difficult in where you come from, and how is that the same over here as well?
Okay, so you see, back in Africa, I did not grow up with my family like that. I mean, my dad, and my mom wasn't around at the same time. She was in Italy. So I grew up with my aunties, and as aunties, sometimes you don't get that kind of treatment that your parents will give you. So we got to stop. Me and my brother got to stop going to school, and we start doing a little bit of like robbery. Just thieving a little bit and just to make a way to eat. Yeah, but we went to Italy 2018, and the life just began as well from there. I was playing football for almost a professional team, but life went a bit hard as well there, and I did not get no support from my parents, so things didn't go well, and we just come to UK. The family just get separated, and life has been a bit tougher than before. But that's what I say before. I'm just trying my best to make things, better for myself and for other people. And I know how hard it is, to struggle. And I cannot see any other person outside there, going through a lot. I like to help people.
Yeah. Alex, sorry. Can I just ask you, what's the most positive thing that you could describe about living in England? Like for someone coming from a different country?
Okay. So as you see, like, you got more opportunities and chances to do whatever you want to do in this country. I did not see myself becoming a barber. Even though I started doing that when I was like 16 years old, back in Italy. And coming here, I saw people like, how people do things differently compared from like back in Africa and Italy. And you see other people doing it, just kind of motivates you, so that's what makes me, start doing the barbering as well. Even though I had the experience and everything, I did not really learn a lot from no one. I told myself to, to become a barber in that sense. So I guess there's more opportunities in UK. You can do whatever you want to do.
That's cool,
yeah. If you
and that with that same question, Philip and Peter, how would you I'm guessing both of you have lived in this country like me all your life as well. How would you describe growing up just as two black boys, two brothers in inner city Birmingham?
Yeah, I'll start it off. Go on, Philip. Go on then.
Well, I suppose it's unique for us being twins. Like obviously two people, but they're one and the same. So we kind of got each other. But even though we got other siblings as well, the connection between the two of us, it's hard to describe. It's different. It's tighter, but not to say we're not tight with the rest of them. It's just connection. But I guess growing up, it was challenges and difficulties. I guess when we was raised in Handsworth at first, or when we first from probably the age of 3, and we moved to Hockley, and from Hockley, from about 8 years old, we moved to Hampstead Great Bar. And when we moved to that area, there weren't many black people around there at the time. So growing up around that area, there was a lot of racism and getting caught up in fights and things like that. And there weren't much understanding of our culture as such. So I think those are the kind of things that I picked up on initially when we kind of moved around there as well.
Yeah, just to usher on that, add on to that as well. Just the experience it's different seeing the transition. Like to say, we initially grew up Handsworth area, Hockley area, which is the inner city part of, and to move from there to the Hampstead side was a very cultural shock. So again, your identity is not recognized as such as it is now. But if you go around them areas now, it's very much multicultural and open and stuff. Yeah, but again,
understand your culture more as well.
Yeah. So even just coming around, moving around the Sandwell area, Hampstead Great Bar, just even the accents and how people sound and say certain phrases, or just the food. We're still having to go to Handsworth to get our local groceries, and like our traditional food is not really many shops around that area to go get your food from and stuff like that. So just finding that identity and, you know, just transitioning and getting used to the change basically. But also it was a blessing to be able to interact with people from different cultures, predominantly white people, some Asian people as well, and see how they live and, you know, how you can interact and kind of learn off each other in certain ways as well.
Yeah.
Also makes you grow as a person as well. So
Yeah.
always a good.
And as well, I think moving around that area opened us up to new things, especially I think with sports, football. I don't think had we still lived around, I don't know, probably in time, but at the time we did, when we was around that area, I think it was more of a football, you know, excited area. Like initially, we have siblings. Nobody was in the household was interested in sports like that. It was more music, that kind of vibe. So I think that helped as well with this kind of influence or shape us into finding our lane in particular sport, which was football at the time.
That happened quite early actually. As soon as we moved up to the area, within a year, within months, we got into a football team. And then from that was like from the age 8 to probably 16, 17. So imagine we didn't have football or anything like that, what we would have been doing in other areas.
Because that's what I was going to say as well, because it was around them areas, obviously it's predominantly, you know, affiliated gang crime and all them kind of things. So with the energy that we had at the time, we was no other avenues to channel it. So we're probably playing out, messing about and stuff like that. So to move around there and find football, it gave us an avenue as to where to channel our energy a bit better. And as well, that the immediate, because we're not around many of our own in terms of black friends and whatnot, the influence is not as much there because we're not really hanging out with the white folks like that, with the white people, friends of our age like that, or the things that they were on wouldn't have been the same things that had we still been in the inner city areas would have been on. So it would have been a lot more influential, probably in the negative sense, because we would have been up to no good in certain aspects as well.
I think for me, the overwhelming thing growing up for me was the negative. I know it's a bad thing to think about, but I think of all the negative influences, the gun crime, the gangs.
Yeah.
Like personally speaking, seeing like my own family members, my father, even my younger brother going into prison. Unfortunately, my younger brother passing away in prison. So when I'm thinking about growing up, I'm thinking more so a lot of negativity, a lot of just crime, a lot of bad influences, drugs. And like you said, you need that kind of avenue out, whether it's sport, whether it's, you know, school, whether it's, for me, it was doing well at school and then going on to college. And even when teachers would tell me, oh, you know, you're not good enough to, you know, go to college and then go to university, I used that kind of as motivation then to prove them wrong and end up in the fire service, like as a firefighter, which, you know, coming from our background isn't something that most of us did. I was speaking before we recorded this, that when I joined the fire service, there wasn't many people that looked like me. There wasn't many black boys in the fire service when I joined. So it was a culture shock for me. I'd never even left Birmingham until I was about 16, 17. So never really got to experience different cultures other than, you know, the cultures in Birmingham, which is Asian people and other white people. So having to jump from all those negative influences, using my own motivation to get where I needed to get to, it was just like every day was like a new school day, learning something new, meeting people new, having new influences, and just trying to dispel all the negativity, staying away from like old friends who are into gangs or into drugs or doing this and that, and kind of not letting it become like, you know, an anchor, like that, you know, because I've come from this area, that this is gonna define me in any way.
Yeah. So would you say, you know, you mentioned with your dad and your brother, would you say that helped you to achieve where you are as a firefighter, to kind of give you the motivation to say, I'm not going to be like this. I've seen that way and what the outcome is. Let me try something else. Or let me try and change the narrative in the family, or did that kind of help?
To be perfectly honest, it probably scared me more so. Like I thought, seeing how bad it had an influence on them, I thought I don't want to end up like that. I don't want to go down that road. I don't want to, be the typical stereotype and end up in prison, or, have 16 kids from 16 different women and just be messing about and running up and down on the road. So it kind of just shook me into thinking, you know what, I need to have a plan, set a goal, set a target, and just work towards that. It's similar to training. I use it every day in like physical training as well, like you guys. Like if I have a target at the end of say the month or 2-3 months, then I'll work up, build up, use a plan, get towards that goal, and make sure that I'm doing my best every day to reach that target.
You know what? I want to touch upon what you just said. It's good that you said about not wanting to be like a certain way, the typical stereotype. I was the same way growing up, and the reason why that's so difficult to do because it's so accessible. Where we live, when you step out, make a phone call, your family member, your friends doing something, and it's actually very difficult to stay away from that. So, people like yourself and other people as well, it's commendable that you took yourself away from that and put yourself into the position where you're at now. You didn't get involved in. Everyone's got their past to me, people and dabble, but not to the extent where you're, I don't know, some top man and roll, you lock up, you just getting mixed up with this person and that person, whatever. So I salute that, man, and I rate that and respect. After people like that need more respect for those people. It's very difficult to do, even though it seems so, I don't know, so simple not to do. It's actually very hard not to get involved in it. So.
It's just about being yourself, man, and it's trying not to. Like everyone's not made to do like even you as a firefighter. Everyone's not made to be a firefighter. Everyone's not made to do fitness what we do. Everyone's not made to be a barber. But it's just finding what your truth is. A lot of people just think there's a lot of people that are in this mix up of gang culture and whatnot that shouldn't even be doing it because they're good at so much other things, but they just get caught up in it. Once they're in it, they're stuck in it. But it's just about being true to yourself and finding your own identity.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like it's about more, like discipline yourself. I mean, like waking up every single day and just learning. More like, that's what I've been doing every single day, because I always wake up and I just thought to myself, life is hard, so I just have to try and do whatever I can, not to hang around with people that I know from here who are just doing other stuff that I don't want to get myself into. I've got people who are involved in so many things, and sometimes they want to, just get me close to them, but I just keep myself away from this kind of people so that, because I know how my life has been difficult, and I don't want to keep on, to face having like other problems attached to it. So,
Well, I think to add on to that as well, what I just think that needs to happen is what we're doing now, just showing that there's other, but showing that in the negative way that you just mentioned, show the opposite way in the positive, with the positive outcome, but showing it on the same platforms or showing it on level playing. So however people get steered to the negative side, you got to show them an equal on the positive side. That will help, especially with the younger ones, that will help influence them more to go down that better path. That's better in the long term, because that's what I think. What I see the challenge is, like, everyone goes down to the negative way and they get told to come off that, but there's no equivalent outcome in the positive way where they can flourish, make money and feel highly rated or have a certain status as well. That's what I find is a challenge. That's where we need to break the barrier in time and try and make that happen on the positive side, to make there be an equal playing on the positive side or the progressive side.
Yeah, I think you're right there. I think the negative side's almost glamorized a bit too much nowadays, and it even was when we were growing up as well. And the positive angles that society brings, I think people kind of look down their nose at that a little bit. Even, you know, just doing a normal job or having a 9-to-5 job. People don't want that. Well, young children over the last few years that we've seen in the inner city, they've kind of looked down their nose a little bit at that and have thought, nah, we want quick money, quick time gains. We want it now. And I think we've all seen how that's led in society's terms.
So yeah, going back to all right, education before you even got to the fire service, do you feel like the progress to finishing school was helpful enough for you to flourish in that area, or did you have any limitations from your peers or any teachers or anything like that? Did you feel like that happened for you personally, Marvin?
Yeah, for me, school was a massive negative, limited massively by, probably not intentionally, but limited by teachers that we've had in school, limited by myself as well, my own attitude, by the people I was around, and a lot of wasted years, really.
Trust me.
I mean, again, like you guys, I mean, I went in just pretty much just to play football or just mess around, or, you know, just see one or two mates, and that's about it. I didn't have any kind of ambition, no kind of interest,
no purpose.
People that I was around felt exactly the same way. All their interests were kind of like negative interests and stuff that didn't include any kind of schoolwork, include any kind of positive outcomes. I mean, I left school with two GCSEs. I know most of my friends left with none.
I want to say what I got, man.
Yeah. And
well, yeah, but you know what? Sorry to cut you though, but that's why I have to commend myself how I turned it around though, because I was ambitious enough to realize my mess up mistakes and to realize there's other avenues of how to make it happen. So with my qualifications at school, teachers would have probably just wrote us off, as some of them actually did when they would. Some teachers will say negative things like you're not going to be anybody or this or that, and probably still do it today for the kids as well, which is a bad thing. But again, having that self-belief in yourself, which happened from having all the influences around us as well, and all people that have made mistakes in life, it helped to push me into. I'm a determined guy anyway. Both of us are very determined, very forward thinking. So that was the way we made it happen on a practical sense. But yeah, I would just say that was the main thing, man. But I think in school as well, if we had a lot of people that we could relate to in terms of the teachers or people from the same background as us, that would have helped steer me in the correct way and help me fix up as well. But it wasn't there for us. So yeah.
100%.
You think that was because of your race, or just?
That's just how a majority of the teachers, they're not from our demographic, and the ones that the teachers that aren't from our demographic, they don't know how to relate to us, or they'll see how we react to certain scenarios and take it in a dramatically negative way, but where it's just, sometimes it's a culture thing. I don't know, the main thing, people say suck your teeth, but it's called kissing your teeth. If you're frustrated and you do that, a teacher will think you're swearing or something like that, or you're saying, but it's just an expression, you know what I mean? Stuff like that.
And to that happened to me in school. It actually happened to me in school in the playground one time. I was around one of the dinner ladies. For whatever reason, I kissed my teeth or something. She goes, "Don't swear at me." But that was, in a sense, that's dangerous, because they could have told the teacher, the headmaster, and they could have called my mom. Then I got in trouble for that saying, and they would have supposed your child's in trouble for swearing. But what I did was kiss my teeth. It's just an expression of how it's a cultural expression, isn't it? So things like that was pretty troublesome back in the day as well.
Yeah, I think the main thing for me was, I think it's called like unconscious bias, like you was just saying about teachers not understanding the culture and having like a preconceived idea of what they think you're going to be like. So I remember like going into classrooms before, and even before, you know, we'd sat down, the teacher would be like onto you straight away. It's like almost putting you in a certain little area or certain little group, so just expecting trouble. And it was the
But
same.
you know what I realize as well. Sorry to cut you, bro. So what I realize as well is sometimes as well, them teachers probably put onto you their old trauma from school, from their schooling years as well. They probably got bullied, or you probably
100%.
remind them of someone that used to bully them, or that's what I kind of subconsciously, because it's the same with police as well. They go on a bit away, you think, why is it like that? But it's probably igniting their old trauma. You probably remind them of somebody that used to bully them, or you know what I mean. But I think like with some of the teachers, I don't know if some of them were not to know, didn't know any better, but I do believe some would probably just don't understand the culture, or didn't really care about the culture to understand it enough to want to relate to us, or be on a different understanding for us as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So the same thing, you know, like talking about Italy, you see like a young kid growing up in Italy. You got to face, you know, like people that they might not like you, you know what I mean? Because I had some teachers in school that I went to before coming to, you know, UK. There was this teacher that, you know, like he don't like black guys, but he didn't have no choice. He couldn't do nothing about it, you know, because that's his job and he's supposed to be there. Unfortunately, there's going to be like white guys and black guys in the class, and sometimes he got to use, you know, like mostly because sometimes like I was that kind of guy that I'm kind of tough in the class, and he wanted me to like, you know, become a bit like, you know, low. He wanted me to feel low about myself and stuff. So you know how back in the days, I don't remember the date, but there was a time there was this sickness called Ebola. So yeah. So that time my surname is Yeboah. So he used my surname to attach that sickness and start calling me early in the morning. Once he's mentioned the register. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So you see, yeah, man. So like that day, like, you know, I chased him that day in the school. He ran to the headmaster office because I wanted to hang him. You know what I mean? Like, it was really bad in that sense, you know, because like I'm not expecting no one to like bully anyone. Like I don't know what experience he had and what he been through with. I don't know what he got in his head, but that's the main way to say like someone is racist or that they don't like black people, you know. And he's not the only one because you know, when I went to Italy for the first time, I went to city center in Italy and I was lost. You know, I just wanted to, you know a bit of the city. So I asked one person and one white person, and they didn't even answer me. You know, I was just trying to find my way back home. I asked the person, where is this road lead me to? Where is it going to lead me to? He just looked at my face and just turned around. You know what I mean? So some people just like, they'll just make fun of you. You know, I met people who was asking me one time. I jumped in the lift to go down the train station, and there was these two ladies, white ladies, that was just saying like asking me questions about, oh, where you come from? Is lift exist? You know, like is it not all wood or like, yeah, man, like is it forest? How is it like, you know? So
that's what I mean. That's
like
just where
I got to look at them like some type of way because like, you know, I don't know how they see sometimes people are.
Yeah, I'm gonna chime in for you, Marv. I'm gonna ask Alex as well. I'm gonna say how does how did growing up with your father, how did that shape you? Or if you had your father around, how did having a father or not having a father shape you as a person?
Yeah, I mean, massively. I mean, not having a father around kind of left a massive hole in my life. Not having a role model, not having someone to look up to, not having, you know, someone to give you guidance about money, about, life, about girls, about jobs. I mean, as you know, your mother can do the best that she can, but she can't take the role of a male, because no mother's going to understand that. There's no female's going to understand what it needs to be growing up as a young man, especially in Birmingham as well. So I guess in a mental health kind of way, it did damage me a bit, and it damaged my brother as well. Hence why, I mean, I was no more better than him, but hence why he went to jail and I just, stayed on the road kind of thing. But it's
reason what made me ask myself and obviously Peter and my twin brother, we grew up. Our dad passed away when we was 3 years old. So I was like, he was deceased and he was done. It's not like we could call up on him and say, "Oh, check up on him, it was the waste man dead," or not like that. From what we know, he was a loving dad. So for me, I'm sure it's the same for Peter as well. That was like an internal thing. It's hard to explain.
Yeah, 100, man. Yeah. Same thing.
Almost seeking something, but you don't understand what he's even looking for.
And you can't explain it or express it to nobody. Especially at a young age, you don't even know what to say, what the words are to say, or hard, man.
Then you're going through things, maybe experiencing anxiety and depression. When you're so young, you never heard them terms before, so you don't even know. So it's like, I get what you're saying with how you felt as well. So it's very similar, man. We're just growing up like that yourself, and obviously both got kids as well. So because we grew up that way, that makes me want to be a way better father. It's hard to imagine myself not being there for them. So it's weird when you hear that you have absent dads. You know what I'm kind of thinking. I couldn't imagine not being around my child or nothing. It's weird. But because of that experience, it's traumatic. It makes you want to be a better person as well. Be a good person, especially for my mom as well. Because I don't want to feel like she failed by me doing something stupid, or she did it on her own. She did a good job about it as well. So that's why I wanted to ask that for yourself, because for me, that definitely affects me. Probably on the mental health side as well. I can't even relate to us.
I don't even know.
Yeah,
man. But yes, gentlemen, as we bring this conversation to a close, man, been a good topic, good debate about identity. Philip, Marvin, Alex, good to see you in the building, man. But yeah,
it's a
conversation we could be talking about for hours on end, but
But yeah, how we should close it. If you could give like a message to young boys, like even just a few words or a positive message for Pierre, if you go first. If you want.
Yeah, man. Just for, I would say for the young ones coming up, just to always keep moving, man. Don't think when you see someone successful that they ain't going through, their own traumas or own pain. Even if you see us, like, I'm sure, I know, definitely I have my own demons at some time, but sometimes you would probably never ever realize, you think everything's all rosy. So just to keep going, don't be static, don't be stuck. There's always going to be light at the end of the tunnel. There's always going to be, after the rain comes a light, basically. So, because it comes the sun, basically. So, always be forward thinking, optimistic, and it always work out, man. Seriously.
And to you, Alex.
Yeah, man. I can say like I normally talk to most of my young guys that come to the shop, and most of the time not everyone will listen, but some of them listen. So obviously I told them all the time, they should just stay focused on whatever they got in their head that they want to do. As you say before, like school is not for everyone. Like me, I did not been able to get nothing from school. So yeah, they should just, try their best and just, do what's best, and not walking around like, as most of people do. Yeah, man.
Same for you, Marvin.
What I'd say is think about the decisions that you make today and how they'll affect your future. For me now, I guess for all of us, we can all look back and think about decisions that we made way back when we was younger and think, if only I would have done something different, it would have affected our futures much more positively. And I just think that for the young people today, rather than thinking in the moment and thinking about here and now, just think, 5 years ahead, 10 years ahead, think where you're going to be, where's your life going, as you were saying, whether it's positive, whether it's, something progressive, or whether it's just something you enjoy doing. I know guys, young guys that enjoy, going to the gym, they enjoy football, they enjoy arts, crafts, whatever it is you enjoy, just do it and do it with a passion. And for me, like I said, just always try your best and remain positive at all times.
Add on to that, for me, what I would say is try and figure out what you're good at. Just like everyone's got their gift, everyone's good at something. They might be good at multiple things, but like, even if you write it down or make a note, mental note, write a list, always make a note of what you're good at. And once you decide which one of those things you want to choose, whether it be one or two, but preferably one if you want to go in all the way in, focus on that with the most 100% attention. Give it all you got every day, chip away at it, and trust me, you'll get where you want to be within that field or something. I don't believe in saying to someone you can be anything you want to be. I don't necessarily believe in that, but everyone's gifted at something. You are better at other people than certain things. And those certain things are your chosen gift. And they're going to get you to where you want to be.
Like that, gentlemen. Finished that beautifully. Salute everybody.
Next
Yeah,
one.
man. Thank you, guys, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Good to see you as well, man.
Yeah, man.